everybody. Welcome back. My next guests are a legendary comedy duo that at the time were so controversial they were kicked off the CBS network. Yeah, boy, you must be really controversial to get kicked off of this old creaker. But anyway, they're a big smash hit from the 60s. It's out on the DVD. Now, take a look at this. The Smothers Brothers, everybody! The Smothers Brothers!
Thank you. Well, thank you very much. That's such a warm welcome. Great setup. And I love watching that old tape. I hope it was interesting to you. Not only have we aged 40 years just like that, it's amazing. It happens when you don't eat your vegetables. But when I look back there, there's so many changes. You know, this is where we did our show, not in this particular studio, but right here at Television City. And there's so many changes. When you come
a lot
back
of
here.
changes. Some of that aren't changes is that the morons are still running the country.
Well, it's funny, that punchline will work indefinitely, unfortunately.
But everywhere, you know, every time we get up in the morning, all of us, we get up, we're not married.
We're not married.
No, but you get up, you turn on the radio, pick up the newspaper, see, everything is politics. Politics. National politics. It's been going on for, particularly about 4 or 5 years, but I looked up the word politics. Yeah. And I thought it was important. Politics comes from the Greek root poly, meaning many, and ticks, meaning blood-sucking parasites.
No, it looks... Why are you laughing? That's not funny, but it's food for thought.
But let's get off the politics. Yeah. Craig is, I understand, is a new pilot, and
you're a new pilot,
which is
you fly.
That's so great because Dickie and I were up just in Santa Barbara last night. We flew in this morning from Santa Barbara. Instead of driving, I said, "Well, I'll fly." So I've been flying I'm pilot 38 years. I'm instrument rated.
That's not true.
A lot of it's true, Dick. Let me finish this thought. So anyway, I rented a Cessna, a little Cessna 172. We flew in from San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, around to fly. What a beautiful morning this day. And Dickie said, fly over. We went to a high school in the valley, and we flew over the valley.
You flew to a high school?
You said fly over Verdugo Hills.
That's not true.
A lot of it's true. Let me just, the point is that when you're in commercial airlines, you're at 20, 30,000 feet.
What are you talking about?
Let me finish the thought. And you see so much, but in a small plane, like when we were flying, just a little Cessna flying into Van Nuys Airport, and it was beautiful, and if you have a chance to get in a small plane and see
what is your point?
I said, you enjoyed the flight over there.
I did. No, it's not true.
Yes, you did. You got airsick.
I did not get airsick.
Yes, you did.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
I said I flew you over here.
You didn't. You're not a pilot. It's important. You can't fly an airplane unless you train first and become a qualified pilot.
I'm instrument.
No, you're not. Start with the first thing you're not. You're not a pilot. You are not a pilot.
Then why'd you go up with me?
You're not a pilot.
Leave it alone.
Drop it. What are you talking about? Tom, you're just telling everybody why is it so important these people believe you're a pilot?
It's not important.
Then why did you go to all that effort to make it up?
Didn't take any effort.
That's a figure of speech. First of all, I'll grant you this. You've flown, but as a passenger for over 50 years, and I'll give you this, you're a frequent flyer, but a lot of us are frequent flyers out there, right? Every time you sign up, you're a frequent flyer. And no matter, get this, listen to this, this is very important. No matter how many miles you accumulate, they do not upgrade you to pilot.
Okay, you got me. So I'm not a pilot, but there's a lot of people that aren't pilots.
That's right, but why did you come out here and say you're a pilot? What possessed you to come out here on Craig's show and say, oh, I'm a pilot?
I don't know, I just didn't recall not being a pilot.
You mean you forgot you weren't a pilot?
No, I didn't recall not being
Well,
a
what's the difference?
between...
Yeah, what's the difference? You forget, you recall, you...
No, it's the same difference between Alzheimer's and amnesia.
Wait a minute, why'd you come out here and lie to everybody about this?
I already said I'm not a pilot.
No, I said you're not a pilot.
I agree with you.
Begrudgingly, you admitted it.
Why are you kicking a stick with a dead horse?
Tommy, the phrase is beating a horse with a dead stick, so use it right or leave it alone. The point is, you lied.
A what?
My brother lied to you, and I want to know why. Why'd you come out here and lie?
National policy. Anyway, this is the first time we've done Greg's show. We are very happy to be here. We are the Smothers Brothers. I know a lot of people when we walked out here that recognized right away, of course, we're not the original Smothers Brothers. And believe me, those boys would have loved to have been here, but they passed away in 1969. Terrible plane crash. Well, one of them wasn't a pilot.
Smothers Brothers, everybody, we'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm here with Tom and Dick, the Smothers Brothers. Now, Tom, I hear you're a pilot. Yeah.
I'm not, but my brother's a pilot.
No, he's not a
Yes,
pilot.
he is. He had a Stavia, and he...
Yeah, no, I had a decathlon. I did aerobatics for a while, and then recently I picked up... Yeah,
I don't know whether to believe this
That's
or not,
true.
actually.
I started flying helicopters recently.
Really?
Because I fly with this guy, Mel Larson, in Vegas. He's 76. He has 3 helicopters. And I was flying with him one day, and I realized, even though he's a vegetarian, doesn't drink, he could have a heart attack at any moment.
Yeah.
And he's picked my moment to die. And I didn't want to give him that right.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be able to kill myself. So I started taking lessons, and it's the biggest joy. If you like flying, helicopter thing, you fly it all the time. You can't even scratch your nose. You get in a little R-22 trainer, and it is fun.
Well, I tried it a little bit once, and it seemed to me a little bit too dangerous.
It did me too. But every time we got a war, there's 100,000 people that could learn to fly helicopters real quick. So
yeah.
Do it that way.
Well, best let them.
You know, it's stretching yourself once in a while. Of course, you have a great life, and I think you're the best interviewer on television.
Thanks.
You're to me.
Thank you very much.
And is it? I mean, seriously, the total package. You're the next closest thing to Johnny Carson. If there's no one to get that, you will be.
Hush, hush now.
Just no, I mean it.
Hey, let me ask you this. Is it true? Tell me the story of you getting kicked off of CBS, and how would a fellow go about getting that done?
Can't get out of your contract, right?
No, I can't get out of it. So, how did you get out of it?
Well, they picked up our option for the 4th year, and I said, don't pick it up. We picked it up. And so it was constant, like, I understand you have some problems here at CBS.
Well, it's not, yeah, a little.
But censorship is very necessary because there's always the danger of something being said.
You've got that. That happens often. Once or twice a week on this show, people threaten to speak.
Well, you know, there's not much being said, though.
No, true.
So I always said it was a freedom of hearing is more important. So when they censor you, they're having problems. And when they do those little things that we couldn't say on our show, we couldn't say pregnant. Couldn't say the word pregnant.
I don't know if you can now. Can we say pregnant now? Oh, we can. Oh, thank you, liberating 60s.
They didn't like Tommy saying frigate when he was a frog. They said frogs say ribbit. So we had George Segal on the show and wrote a operetta, Mutiny on the Bounty, where Tommy was captain of the frigate. So he did.
Really?
I
think censorship is good because it makes you creative to get around it. But sometimes it baffles me. Like last week, Jennifer Love Hewitt is on this show, right? And she said a popular text message thing. It was 4 letters. O-M, a letter there, and then G. O-M-G means oh my God. O-M, and there's a letter in the middle there, and then G. They beeped the letter. They beeped the letter because the letter implied... Now, if you're not allowed to imply this word which is in popular usage, it's a slang term for sexual intercourse, and you're not allowed to imply that word,
well,
which makes me think,
well,
why not?
No, what they've done, don't you understand? They've got you dealing in trivia. Means nothing. Doesn't mean anything. How important is that?
It's hugely important.
What if you say something, they say, well, you can't say another mother for peace because that might be a communist front organization.
Did they say that stuff to you?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Now, we're talking about, not saying, you know, and Cher came on the show and she got upset. She said, I'm not going to go on the show because they're making wear, they got to put bandages on my nipples because my nipples are showing through the...
I wear bandages on my nipples all the time. I'm doing it right now, but that's a completely different thing.
Yeah,
it's something I enjoy. It's related to a word that begins with the letter that comes before G in the alphabet that implies sexual intercourse.
Well, sometimes it's they don't want to relinquish the power that they have, and what they're censoring you for is just to keep the fact is that they're telling you what you can and can't.
But the things you would have to say to get fired, like
Today?
we had to get fired if you want to move on, is I wouldn't say being a brand new citizen.
Right.
I'd be careful.
I'm fiercely patriotic about this country.
Okay,
Fiercely patriotic.
Okay, this is how you deal with it. If you want to put something in, you put something in, and then you argue about that one. Something like we put in our show for Mason Williams that for Easter show we had it in the script, so they could see it. You know anything about Easter? I said, yeah. And Dickie said, what about Easter? I said, well, Easter is when Jesus Christ arose from his tomb and saw his shadow and hasn't been seen since.
Some people may consider that as being slightly offensive, Tommy.
Well, that's Grandma's
Well, we got to argue about it, and we took it out.
Right.
But we got to keep something else in.
I see. It's the old bait and switch then.
Bait and switch. You have to do it.
Do you think that television comedy now is the better or worse?
I've watched it from the 40 years, from the time we were on to the 40 years later that we're on, and there's a very frightened bunch of Americans who didn't used to be frightened, and that is frightening to me.
But to answer your question, yeah. I think he answered philosophically something else. When Tommy got his brand new 1968 Emmy the other day, never been used in 40 years. If I was up there, I didn't deserve it, but I was up there, I would look at Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart and Bill Maher and all the outlets that political comedians can be on and say, Pat Paulson, your grandson, is Stephen Colbert.
Right. Yeah.
It's moving on. There's a lot of very,
working.
very good stuff out there.
Yeah.
And
I think so. I think
yeah, but why is it always on the fringes?
Yeah.
See, when we were on the air, it was Sunday night, 8 o'clock.
It was the 9 o'clock, number 1 hour of the week.
More people. There was 22 million people watching there.
We got American Idol now. We could dance with the
that's
stars.
roots,
We don't need politics.
But we were making a few comments.
No, I hear you.
I know.
I hear you. No, I wish we had more time, but in fact, you've got me kicked off the air.
No,
wait, Brothers, everybody, we gotta go. Good night.
What did we learn on the show tonight, Craig?
What we learned was this, that I associated with 60s radicals. They were right here. The Smothers Brothers. I associated with 60s radicals, and now my shot at the presidency is gone. I mean, how many more days have we got to go to this election? Like 30, 29? Jeez, we have to cut this. We really do. Can I say? Good night, everybody.